been a long, long time. Me and Mike have
Long
been on
time.
hiatus because, well, we've been just busy with a whole bunch of shit in our life. And we're going to wrap up the season tonight. And we're going to start off wrapping up the season by both unwrapping bottles of Colonel Taylor small batch bourbon.
Bottled in bonds.
I heard that. Nice.
Ooh, you got the squeakies.
Right? Give it a good sniffer. This, Michael, which you have not had, have you?
No, they
Did
didn't have it on the tour.
This is one of my favorites. If I had a daily drinker, it would probably be this. Mostly because I can find it now.
Yeah, not too much is tough to find anymore. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the bourbon, it's dying." No, it's not. It's just
No.
companies have caught up with demand. Is all.
Yes. 100%. Supply and demand. There's a little more supply, a little less demand. Oh, I forget. You drink it neat too, don't you? You like your bourbon warm.
I always started off that way. Even my rums,
How many fingers you got there? Looks like you got a good and a half fingers going, baby.
it's about a finger. Of course, I got fatties, so
What do you think? What do you think, Mike?
it's a lot smoother than the Eagle Rare.
That's
That's a
the
lot smoother.
Yeah, the small batch, the Eagle Rare, even though it's 10 years aged, this stuff is just a little more. And it's also bottled in bond, so you're 50%. So it's 100 proof. Got a little more kick,
Yeah, yeah, but it drinks smoother.
doesn't it? Well, there's a
Doesn't have as
reason
much.
why it's $30 more than the Eagle Rare, too, a bottle. From the distiller, that is.
Shit's good, Joe.
I wouldn't send you the wrong way, Mike. I do have, and I guess I'm gonna have to save some of it for whenever you come down. And it was not a cheap bottle, so I will have it for a while. But I do have a barrel proof bottle of this that I
Oh,
got.
really?
I cracked it open when I quit my current job. When I accepted the next one, that was my. Now that one's got a kick because it's straight from the barrel. It's
Is it like
proofage.
140?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But the thing is, it's for being something that strong, it has got a very smooth, almost caramelly flavor. It's delicious. It will. You're not going to drink a ton of it, but because you'll be on the floor. But it's amazing. It is. Yeah, it's very very good. So
Mm.
what?
I got I gotta give me some Glen Cairns.
Somewhat.
Those little tasty stuff. What's up,
Oh,
Joe? What are we doing?
I have one of those. Slow down, son. I actually have a couple of those with the Bland logo on it that I believe you and your wife gave me a couple years ago.
What?
You're sitting here with all my bourbon, looking happy. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the story of how we both got these bottles of E.H. Taylor we're drinking, Mike. Let's
Yes.
let's talk about road tripping.
That's what I'm connecting.
Oh, right.
Checks not disturb. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm making sure my shit is set on do not disturb, which I forgot to.
Mine did something weird too. I don't know what happened there. It says we're still recording though, so there'll be some heavy editing going on.
Yeehaw. All right.
So anyway, while Mike is unfuckering his connection issue,
I'm good.
a few weeks ago, I don't even know how many anymore, 2 to
More.
6, somewhere less than that, somewhere more than that. I don't know. Might have been like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was up in Mike's realm for a while doing some stuff with my family, and I got a wild hair at my ass. And I said, "Hey, Mike, you want to take a day off work and go for a road trip?" Because Bardstown, Kentucky is about 5 hours, I guess it took us. We're roughly,
Yeah.
if you wanna break it
About
down, which is a home of good old Buffalo Trace. So we jumped in a car with a big basket of treats that his wife put together, the most eclectic, amazing road trip snacks ever. We're gonna talk about that in a second.
Twizzlers.
We're gonna talk about that in a second, and we hit it on down to get our bourbon on, to spend some money, to buy some bourbon, to taste a lot of bourbon, and have a few meals, and just kinda bullshit the day away. Well, a day and a half, I guess. So, Mike, as I'm thinking about this little road trip we had
Yeah.
where we talked about, automated vehicles and AI and the state of the union, and we solved all the world's problems, but we forgot what our answers were. So well, we tried our best. But during that time frame, and I'm gonna go with I think 5 hours is a good time to put for a short little road trip. We don't need a ridiculous mass amount of road trip snacks. But the first thing I wanna talk about, I just wanna shoot this one out there because it's a nice, fun, easy starter. What's the best road trip snack? Did we annihilate it? Because the more I thought about it, I'm thinking it really, I think it was Mike, which is crazy.
Yes. I'm usually a red vine fellow myself, but when it comes to a road trip, I had no idea that I was going to enjoy Twizzlers that much. Dude, we killed that bag.
And it was a big bag. It was,
Yeah, it was one of those monster, like you're going on a road trip for like a week bag. Yeah, we killed it in 2 days.
yeah, it's the kind of bag that you would take to a movie theater and share with the whole theater.
Yeah.
But it's like the greatest snack because it takes a few seconds to eat one. You're kinda playing with it while you're chewing it.
Yeah.
You're able to
It's not sticky. It's not messy.
no. Yeah, it doesn't give you the poops. I mean,
Mm,
it doesn't really fill you up a ton till you eat till you eat a whole bag of them,
we tried.
right? I mean, it really I almost don't know what else I would choose. I'm usually a real big trail mix type of person, but
Yeah.
but the problem is, especially if you're the one driving, trail mix is a pain in the ass to try to eat while you're out there because you always end up with, the chocolate pieces that are in it or eh, falling down in your lap while you're driving, and then you get a car and it looks like you shit yourself, and
It's never happened to me, Joe. Never.
then me neither, obviously, of course, but, 'cause I would never drop chocolate. Might drop a little nut in my way though, but, it's one of those things where you're driving around there and people out there, you might disagree with us because you think Twizzlers are disgusting or whatever, but hands down, there was not much where we were debating about grabbing anything different than those damn Twizzlers because it was just
What all we have in that basket? We had apple chips. We
yeah.
had the Twizzlers. We had some kind of granola bar or something like that.
That might have been your wife was prepared. There were pretzels filled with Reese's peanut butter,
Yeah, we killed
which
those too.
those are great too, but the only downside with that is your mouth gets dry. So you're like, and now you're drinking, which means you're gonna be stopping to hit the bathroom. So you gotta worry about that, that write-off. Or yeah, write-off, I guess we'll call it a write-off. Comparison and what you're doing. It's just like I love a good cup of coffee. I love to drink coffee when I'm road tripping, but it's dangerous because it's gonna make you deviate from where you're trying to get to way more often than you want.
Just a little bit.
And I don't know about you, but I find me, if it's hot coffee, I'm screwed.
I have a question.
Sorry, where were we?
I've noticed. I've noticed with just the Eagle Rare. It didn't
Oh,
happen when I was doing my Manhattans with
okay.
the Buffalo Trace and the Weller.
Okay.
With the Eagle Rare and the Colonel E.H. Taylor Jr. It has made my lips numb, like Novocaine numb. Both
Well,
of them.
I
And
mean,
I'm serious. It's like somebody put some topical Novocaine on my lips,
now that I think about it, my top lip is a little numb.
and not drunken numb, like physically to the touch, numb. You could probably pierce my upper lip right now.
Mine ain't that numb. That's interesting. You're 100 proof for the Taylor. And what, do you have that Eagle Rare handy?
Mm.
I'm a true alcoholic. I do have one handy in my office. That's where I keep all my bourbon.
But yeah,
Well, the Eagle Rare is 45%, so it's 90 proof. That's pretty close.
yeah.
That
And
is
it's
very
like
interesting, though, that it numbs you a little bit there.
yeah, even inside like the mouth cavity for a little while, like has this Novocaine, almost like chloroseptic spray kind of feeling to it. That's
Okay.
wild.
Well, is that why they make, prison hooch? So it numbs the mouth when
When Bubba comes a calling.
yeah, right? Exactly. So even with the numb mouth, you're still saying you like it, though? You're
Oh
enjoying the
hell yeah! This
the flavor?
yeah. And last night I was Angela and I went to our local club that we're part of, and I was asking them about their bourbons, and they had some I believe it's called Rabbit Hole.
Yes.
Sounds correct. And that was I don't remember which one they have, but it was pretty damn delicious. And I drank that neat too.
Well, you note that out. Next time we go for a road trip, we'll hit up Rabbit Hole too. It was a little further west than
Yeah.
where we would have to plan a little more time to hit that one. But I have I've been to Rabbit Hole. I think if I remember correctly, it was the last trip that I made out there. We stopped in for actually I think they have is either them or Heaven Hill's new distillery, but I think it was Rabbit Hole and they just built a whole new building had a really nice restaurant that we stopped in to eat at there. Did not tour it, because I believe it was literally on our trip from going down to Louisville from Bardstown to hit up Angels and Mickner.
So,
Over.
here's the funny thing about that rabbit hole story. So, rabbit hole is considered a top shelf bird over in the club that we're at. It's just a fraternal. Yeah, it's just a fraternal club. And I look at the lady. I'm like, "What bourbons do you have?" She's going through them and stuff. I'm like, What's that? What's that tall one right there?" Because it's kind of dark in there. She goes, "That's rabbit hole." I'm like, "I have not had that yet. I would like that." And she goes, "Okay, now this is why people that like to drink socially and of course alcoholics alike belong to fraternal clubs." So I look at her and I said, she goes, "Do you want a single on the rocks?" I went, "No, I want a double straight up."
Ooh,
And she looks at me, she goes, "Honey, that's $5."
get out of here.
I went, "Your point? I'm not kidding, Joe. It was
You're pointing.
$5 for a double." And on top of that, that $5, when they do a pour at these fraternal clubs, a lot of
So,
them a pour. Like a double is actually a quad.
when you gotta figure out what that was. I mean, a
Yeah, I
6-year-old's
will.
rabbit hole is $145.
Well, a rabbit hole high gold bourbon, just a straight up regular high gold is 45.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it was probably one of those, but still $5 for a double shot, which
Right? Are you
truly
kidding me?
wow.
You're not gonna most places you go, you'd be lucky for them to sell you a, White Claw for $5 these days. That's
Yeah.
you should be like, "How much for the bottle?" When am I gonna
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
discount?
She looked at me, she's like, "Honey, that's $5." And I went, "Okay."
Well, she was afraid she wasn't gonna get a tip, Mike.
I just kind of looked at her and went, "Do you realize I paid $22 for some blanks?" And that was just
You
one pour.
how dare you? Boy, now you got a whole bottle. Now you got a whole bottle waiting at home.
And I haven't cracked that one open. I'm waiting for my because I don't think my brother and his girl have tasted it yet.
That's
So
a
I'm
good
waiting for them
you
to come over.
you'll be happy with that. Very smooth, very smooth. Doesn't quite have the it's a different taste profile than this, but it'll make you
Yeah, we
smile.
got to taste it on the when we were on the tour. They gave us some. And I liked it. Good shit.
Yeah, it's a good safe one. Okay, then, Mike, let's even deviate away from talking about road tripping and all that, and let's just talk about the distillery experience that you had. So,
Okay.
for people who've never been to one, I'm gonna give you the 30-second lowdown, and then I'm gonna ask Mike some very pointed questions. So again, most of these places, especially if you go to some of the specialty ones like Buffalo Trace, Mickner, some of the ones that kind of sell a good mix of different bourbons, they usually will sell you their everyday bourbon that you can get everywhere. And then they kind of have their special releases, so you can only buy one or two different bottles every day while you're there, and they limit you to a single of each bottle. They take your ID, they scan you, all that happy horse shit.
Okay.
Well, we had timed everything beautifully enough that we got in before they closed, got the bottles that we were looking for the day, and then came back in the morning and did it all again. So we were able to double dip, which was beautiful. Sorry you couldn't get the Eagle Rare, but you got it when you got home. So you win, you win. We got
I
some.
won.
Wait till you crack that Weller Antique. I think you're gonna like that too. That Weller 107. I know people who search for that one. It's another good one. So outside of all that, you go into these mass distilleries that are on umpteen acres, depending on which one you look at in the beautiful rolling hills of Kentucky. You can go do samplings. So when me and Mike went back, actually, no, the first day we were there long enough, we went and did some sampling and tried a handful of bourbons. Then we went back and we went and did a tour. So, Mike, let me kind of get, since I've been there a couple times, this was your first thought when we kind of got out of the car after we rolled in there. What were you thinking when you looked around there, other than how massively crazy those tiny roads are? So,
So my first thing was when we pulled up on Buffalo Trace, it was like pulling up on a almost like an Arabian horse farm kind of atmosphere. Very old school, very it seemed kind of bougie when you first pull into the gates with all the fencing and stuff and things like that, and the
yeah, yeah,
landscape.
I
And
agree.
then you get in there and it kind of tones down a little bit with the brick mortar buildings and things like that. I was like, "Oh, okay." Then the history starts spilling out as you're looking around in the air conditioned car. And then you get out the car and that smell hits you. That beautiful oak bourbon
Harley.
smell.
Yeah.
And it's just it's everywhere. And the more you get into it, closer you get to the building, the deeper it gets in your nostrils. And it's almost like you want to roll around in the cologne of it. I mean, not that you would wear it on an everyday, but it's just that it's intoxicating.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
definitely throws the atmosphere in there. It's like, yeah, I had here to look at some. Bourbon. It definitely throws you in the cell. But Buffalo Trace, especially because of the history behind it and how it's changed over hands over time. And I
I don't know, we're still recording, don't worry about it. Maybe just reconnect it. Did I you got a little quieter too. I'll clean that up later, don't worry about it. It's probably all the heat out there is just fucking up the internet for the whole world.
we go.
So you get it there, you start to hear, you get to see the history and all that. We really heard about it. Yeah, that's pretty cool how they can transferred hands and it moved around a lot. That was it's a very interesting piece to go with that. And seeing all the what did they call it? What's the silt that covered everything? The kind of the ash of bourbon. No, there you are. Did you? Interesting. You got a little quiet yourself. It doesn't like you. It doesn't
It's
like you,
not.
but I think you're still there. I have a feeling that you're still there, Mike.
Well, I'm still here.
You're still there. I can still hear you. We're still going. Don't worry about it, baby.
My phone sucks because as soon as hit do not disturb, it looks like I have a bounced call and it looks like I have a missed text and I have an alarm that went off. So I'm like, what the hell, phone? It says do not disturb. See what it means.
It means it thinks you're going to bed, Mike.
I guess. But no, all in all, the Buffalo Trace experience that was my first impression was as soon as you get out that car and you hit that open air and then you smell that breeze hits you with that bourbon and that oaky and all that. It was cool. I couldn't wait to get inside.
Where, they try to sell you everything under the damn sun.
Sure.
And I think it's amazing when you walk into some of those buildings and there's just thousands and thousands of barrels of this stuff sitting in there, aging and waiting.
Well, the thing that blew my mind the most when we were on the tour, and they said that they are like a 1.2 million
A year.
barrel capacity right now, and they're about to up it by another 1.5 million barrels or some shit like that. I was, huh? So you know what that all just told me, Joe, is it just looks like Taylor and all of our other tasty beverages we're looking for are going to be a lot easier to find.
I sure hope so. I sure as shit hope so. Maybe I'll actually be able to find all the stuff that you can't find that they never want to release for everybody that's out there. Now, granted, even if they're gonna make 1,000,000 barrels a year, it's gotta sit somewhere for what, 10 years? Depending
At
on which
least
one it is. You're that Eagle Rare's aged for 10 years. So, that's
I'm s-
amazing.
I'm thinking that in about 5 to 10 years we'll be able to get a pappy for around
For
$100.
how much?
100. I think it'll be regulated that much that they'll have enough
Really?
pappy on the market in 10 years.
Oof. I don't know if they're making that much pappy, though. I think they make it in such small dosage, which is funny. I was watching Landman with my wife the other day, and there's actually a part of it where one lady goes to a grave and she pulls a bottle of pappy out and she pours it
No
on the
shit.
grave. And I'm like, oh, my wife's like, isn't that the stuff that you want at your funeral? I'm like, yeah, I can't drink it. But yeah, I want you to put my ashes in one of them fucking bottles. After you all drink it, drink 5 bottles and put me in one of 'em. I think one of the things that outside of the overall mix of everything that they made there and even the other places that we went to, where we sampled a few others, it was a very short trip, so we didn't hit very many distilleries.
I just do.
But I was very shocked, and I'd never tried it before, and I honestly may have even never thought about it other than we had it as a sample, and you kinda got me really thinking about it, and then we tried it again, was the vodka that they made.
Oh, yeah.
It was inexpensive, but stupid smooth, I think they said, like, 10 times distilled or some shit like that. I was
Yeah.
very, very shocked, and with us buying a bottle, I got back, and one person was like, "What'd you buy the Wheatley for?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I thought it was delicious." They go, "Ah, you can buy that around here." I'm like, "I don't
Yeah,
care."
you can.
In the moment, I wanted it, and it was a great price
Right.
too.
Yeah, I got it for probably $2 cheaper there than I could get it up here.
Okay. Yeah, an easier thing to find, but I'd never tried it before. I don't think I had it when I was there before to sample it, and it's a very smooth, inexpensive vodka. I was very shocked.
Yeah, and my wife was always she was one of those that fell and I apologize to anybody who's about to hear this news. My wife was one of those that fell victim to the whole Grey Goose thing. And Grey
Pussy.
Goose is shit vodka bottled in a sexy bottle. That's all it is. And I do not like Grey Goose. I remember tasting it and going, "This doesn't." It's kind of got a sour back into it, and
Mm,
it's kind of fighty. But yeah, that Wheatley's, that shit.
super smooth. I've heard people say that about even Tito's, that they're not huge fans of it. I see Tito's as a nice, cheap, throw it in anything vodka and all that. I'm not a vodka snob by any means. If it doesn't
No,
taste
me
like
neither.
Yeah, if it doesn't taste like turpentine, then whatever, I'll mix it, and you can drink it with anything, and me and a bottle Absolute had a really bad run-in college, so I have to
Wow.
I have to watch myself. I might have flashbacks.
What's that? I got Mountain Dew and I got some Absolute. And shit, I remember back in those days, we were drinking Absolute. We thought we were living highball. We were buying the bottom shelf in the plastic jug.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't buy that shit. Well, I would buy it now, but I'm not drinking it straight, that's for sure. No way, and they got a billion flavors of it and all that crap out there now too. That was funny, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest though, outside of the mix of getting some good bourbon, saving a few bucks, that's been I haven't done any sort of road trip, and I couldn't tell you how many years that wasn't solo, Mike. Normally, it's, I gotta go down and meet up with someone in, Miami, so I'm gonna jump in my car and go down to this guy's house or someone's house, right, to hang out, and it's usually just me. It's been since I couldn't tell you how many years since me and any other buddy was like, "Jump in a car and just go." "Where are we going?" "Oh, we're going left," and, come back whenever the hell we decide to come back. It was a nice chill time.
Right back sucked up, man. That rain.
Oh, yeah, it always seems to take longer going back than getting somewhere. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's just the anticipation of it.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, there were no car accidents. Nobody died. Nobody
Not even
should.
that one that had the tree fall on 'em.
Which crazy, yeah, we were driving along, there was a tree on the side of the friggin' highway. Just boom, yeah, hit a wicked storm as part of that. So the real question, Mike, is if we do it again, and I'm sure "if" is the wrong statement, when we do something like this again, would you try to bring your wife? And would you try to make, obviously, a longer trip out of it to hit more
Yes.
areas?
And it's not so much to hit more distilleries. It would be pretty much to because I know that like Buffalo Trace itself has like two different other level of tours. One is like a hard hat tour,
Yeah,
and see, that's the one where they take you into the archaeological part of it that they dug up
back in.
and things like that. And I was like, I would really like to see that. But yeah, just to see some of the other ones, Bardstown, I'd love to go to that one. Even go to the Castle and Key,
To check it
go to
out,
see.
yeah. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
it's one that I would actually recommend going back, especially if we brought the wives. Makers, and it's nothing crazy special
Oh
about
yeah.
bourbon, but their grounds is just phenomenally gorgeous. They've got these glass sculptures all over the place. It is just you walk around there and you're just in awe of how beautiful it is. I think it's like I might be wrong. It's like 5,000 or 20,000 acres. It's something just astronomically large. But it's beautiful. It's the way they do it is, yeah, very, very top notch. It makes places like Buffalo Trace look like, you know, Disney, where they're just trying to sell you a whole bunch of crap and not, they don't have the prettiness of it. But you go to Makers and they make one bourbon. They don't have 8, 10 different ones that they make that they've acquired over the years or been acquired by. And then you take it off and you go into Louisville, which would be another one I think you guys would definitely love to do because Louisville, you're right on the river. And you've got, there's the Baseball Hall of Fame there. There's so much you can do. The Bat Company, some great restaurants. Angel's Envy is a cool tour also. And theirs is a lot of fun.
Well,
It's a beautiful little area around there. So different than out in the middle of BFE. Again, we are
which honestly, the reason why I would take the wives or allow not really, I don't sound like their possessions, but allow them to
accompany you. Enjoy
accompany
the
us on the
experience.
flying journey. We're taking you with us. um, but you also know that there's also a lot of other things down there that we would separate. They would like to enjoy on separately with themselves.
There
'Cause
is.
they're big crackers and things like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that especially in Louisville. That well, my wife's not into bourbon.
But my wife hates it. She hates it. The
I
passion.
think Angela's close to hating.
Alright, Linda thinks it's
But yeah.
disgusting. She hates the smell, wants
But
nothing
yeah,
to.
I would expect that our paths would wane in two different directions at least a couple of those days. Like, I'm not going to go see another distillery, guys. We're gonna go over here. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
we're gonna
see
go
you
to a
later.
horse we're gonna go to a horse farm, we're gonna go check out the Kentucky Derby, which I would say, "No, I may do that too." I would see that one.
I'd be there. Yeah, give me some mint juleps.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
go during the Derby, but It'd be
Hmm.
pretty cool to go see the area where the races are, and if there's an off race going on, that'd be awesome to see. Why not? It's a cool historic place out there. So if you had to do this again and you couldn't take a Mondo Costco-sized bag of Twizzlers, what would you bring? Would you be okay? And you can't have red vines either, Mike.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You be okay?
Yeah. The only reason why that shit got ate, Joe, is because she bought it.
I
Let's be honest.
Well, but I'm gonna be honest, now every time I get in the car, I'm, like, kinda wishing I
What's
had
the
a
toy?
bag of Twizzlers. If I gotta drive more than 5 minutes, I'm like, Twizzlers would make this way better. Not
Joe, we're only about 5 years away from senior citizen levels of,
Shut the fuck up.
AARP shit. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna make it, and that's good news. We have to start looking at things like Twizzlers as survival rations that you have to have on hand, like a heat blanket when in water in your car. You have to have Twizzlers so you can make it from the drive. 'Cause you'll be traveling more soon, so you just gotta make sure you have your Twizzlers in your pack.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, the other thing is you can take the beauty of Twizzlers, Mike, over red vines is I can take a Twizzler, I can bite off both ends of it, I can put it in my bourbon glass and suck it out like a straw because it's hollow in the middle.
Uh,
It's a multifaceted tool.
red vines exceeded that.
What? You can't do
Trust
that.
me, with a red vine? Oh, yeah, it's got
Are
a
they hollow?
I don't wanna sound gross, but they got a bigger hole than Twizzlers.
Oh, I have to, like, look into them. I thought they were more, like, literally viney, so you didn't have almost like a pull and
They
peel
do
the Twizzlers. So
they
you had
do
no
have those, the rope. They do have the rope kind, but your regular classic red vine twists, yeah, they're super hollow in the middle.
Well, alright, everyone, get out there, buy them both, see which one you like better, and then eat the shit out of
Mhm.
them on your next road trip. Or just every time you're going back from the grocery store. It's cheaper than gas.
Survival rations, yeah. But no, after that, we hit the other one? We hit, the Bullet,
Yes, we
but
drove
we
out.
didn't really hit the Distillery. I was
No,
a
that's
little
weird.
I don't know.
It was very odd. It was recommended by somebody. Someone said I mean, the store was cool, had a great layout, but
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed. We actually had to pay for our samples there. At least
yes,
we got to choose of anything, including their single barrel malt and the 10-year and whatever we wanted, but it wasn't like it was very much money, but still, I think of all the ones I went to, that's probably the first one I went to where you had to pay. Now, every distillery you go to, they got a bar. They'll sell you a glass of anything that they've got open, that's for sure. But for sampling, they're a dealer. I mean, they got to give you that first hit for free to get you to want to, buy it and get some more. So that was kind of shocking. The people were chill. They had a dog walking around. So I mean, they get 6 points for that. But
If you've ever blasted synth beats from your boombox or burned CDs for your besties, this one's for you. As people get older, much like their music tastes, their health needs change. AG1 is the simple daily health drink designed to deliver over 75 essential daily nutrients and pre- and probiotics to support energy, digestion, and mood, so you can make the most out of every decade and dance break. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
oh, hell yeah.
oh no, I don't think I would go out of my way to go back there again.
No, especially when I got back from Bullet, and we both, ended up with it was the single barrel that we ended up buying.
Let me look here. Yes, we did get the single barrel.
Alright, and if I remember, we paid $70 for that, right around.
That sounds about right. Would you find it for 50?
Yeah, yeah, here in town, it's $55 after taxes.
Are you shit?
I was like, "We got taken for $20? What the shit?"
Man, well,
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong, but I believe
Oh,
you.
you only
Wow,
need
I would not have expected that. That's disappointing. But hey, which is normally part of the reason people like to go to these. It's not necessarily just for the experience, but you can get something at a slightly better price.
I take that back. Okay, so after taxes there, it was 75. It's 59.99 before taxes here in Ohio.
But it's still with taxes, you're still saving $10, which is
Yeah.
normally the opposite at best. So that is
Yes.
bill it you just got I'm still gonna drink it, but I'm gonna shun you a little bit now. That's
Yeah,
not
that was kinda cheesy.
Yeah, not cool. Especially if you can actually find it. It's different if it's one that you can't find and then you stumble upon it. I'm okay with that, but yeah, that's
I am glad we did that tasting there, though, because I was really intrigued by that mesquite one they had set up,
yes,
and after tasting the finish on that was yeah,
too scotchy,
I don't know.
too scotchy. It was like It was like smoking a cigarette and chewing on some peat moss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, big time.
I don't wanna go back to doing either one of those things. I've never chewed peat moss, actually. So I don't think I would do that one, but I don't need to go back to smoking. That's for damn sure. No, I don't want the
Yeah.
taste. I do not want the taste of that, which is again, it's interesting when you drink something like that to not deviate, but if you've ever been a smoker, anyone, once you get past, like the 5th cigarette, the taste of an ashtray goes away and you realize it's this evil nectar of the gods that is
Yeah.
fucking
Draws
like
you in like Satan's never mind.
yeah, but I mean, once you get past it, you move on to all the I don't wanna say benefits of it, but the things that you enjoy out of it, and when you go back and you go many, many, many years without ever having that taste, and you taste something like a cheaper scotch, which I've never been a scotch fan, but I've had a couple, and they're very similar to this mesquite bullet that they had to where you had the first taste, you're like, "Oh, this is alright," and then you're like, "What the" it's like you just picked the char up out of a grill and chewed on it for some reason.
Yeah, I started off with scotches probably back in 2010-ish with some Glenfiddich 12, and I know my next uncle of mine, he had some Johnny Walker Blue.
Okay.
I tasted that, and that was. I sat there and I looked at him, and Johnny Walker back then in the mid
That
2000s,
was
early 2000s,
that was
that
the
was like a
shit.
$250 bottle.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
the
I tasted it, and I'm looking at him. I went, "I'm not feeling this." He's like, "You sure you don't want another hit?" I'm like, "Well, I've got another sip in here, and I'm gonna give it another try." But yeah, it was not my jam. I didn't understand why anybody flirted with the idea of thinking that it was an exceptional drink.
people love it, though. Some people love it. You know,
But
I've,
that's another fine question that we got to ask. Do they love the actual flavor? Because not all alcohol, well, let's admit this, is inherently good to the palate. But when you drink it, you find those you try and hunt down those little notes of things to justify drinking such
the
things
undertones
that are overcoating the terribleness of it all. And I just wonder if the whole I'm weak the status of I'm weak drinking Johnny Walker Blue. Aha, that kind of thing.
maybe. That's a good question because, like, I know people who I'm trying to think of you haven't had a ton of it, 1 bottle, like, some people hate ryes. They think they're too spicy and got a lot of that bite, whereas some ryes are very good and actually fairly smooth. I found some that I like, and I found some where I'm like, "No, just not my jam. I'll donate this bottle to somebody, or I'm not gonna drink any more of it." It's gotta be really watered down, or I'll mix it. Like, Sazerac. Sazerac is a cheap bourbon. It is a strong, punchy rye. I know people that love the shit out of that stuff. Like, if you ever wanna try a good like, a rye that's just got a lot of rye in the in the flavor, you can't and I hate rye itself. Rye bread's the most disgusting thing to me in the world. But anyway, it is different in a bourbon. But the Sazerac is not something that I'm gonna pour and drink neat. I'm not gonna drink it over ice other than to try it. But it makes a really good, old fashioned or Manhattan because you take that undertone to go with it and you have that extra kind of bite that goes with it. So it tweaks the flavor of the other things that you're mixing with it. And I've had a couple scotch drinks that my neighbors made me that kind of cut down the undertone of the very strong smokiness of it. But I would not want to take a bottle of something like that is hundreds of dollars and want to drink that straight personally. That's some people do. I know some people do love that. I had a bottle once that I stumbled across from a place going out of business. It was a WhistlePig 10-year rye. And it caught my eye. It was a great price. So I just grabbed this thing. And like I destroyed this bottle. I popped it open and it was phenomenal.
Well, hold right there. Because for Father's Day, my brother and his girlfriend got me a bottle of WhistlePig 6-year,
Okay. Was it
and
rye or regular?
right, and
Rye.
I have not cracked it open yet. So that gives me some hope.
The 10-year, like I said, I was like, I wish I coulda gone back and found another bottle of that, and I've met people that are like, "I hate WhistlePig, it's disgusting." I'm like, "You need to try this shit." Blew my mind, I don't remember what the full price was on it, but I probably wouldn't have paid it, but the sale price for this place going out of business, usually if I see 10-year and it's a good price, I'm gonna grab it because it's almost like the perfect age, in my opinion. I think 10 for bourbon it usually hits the sweet spot in smoothness, and it's damn
Yeah.
near impossible to find 12 out there for good stuff. If you find me Eagle Rare 12, Mike, let me know. I'll send you cash.
Okay.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. But no, your WhistlePig 6 should be pretty good. It'll have a little bite to drink it straight, so you might want a smidge of ice in there, but the 10, I was shocked. I kept going back to it. That's how much, and I'm not a massive rye person. There's a Michner makes a very good rye also that's very smooth, and that was one that I stumbled upon. I showed a buddy of mine, and he goes, "Oh my god, that stuff is one of my favorites." He goes, "You're gonna love that, and I can drink that. I can drink that straight over ice." And like the bottle I've got on it is just so it's their single barrel. Make no straight. Keep an eye out next time you go shopping. If you see this one out there, it's not
That is.
expensive,
Oh, okay.
not overly expensive. It's fairly hard or fairly easy to find. Yeah, their single barrel is not that bad. I guess the 10-year is balls
Oh, that's
amazing,
a
but it's like 250 bucks,
that'll. Ooh,
200,
that's the
300.
unicorn.
Yeah, the 10-year of that, I guess, is I heard it's just delicious, but it's expensive as hell. If you can find it, usually you can only find it at the distillery. I've seen it in the wild, but like I said, it's like $300, and it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, Michter's Toasted is going for like 110. Michter's 25-year is going for 1,500.
Holy shit. I mean, hey, it's older than my children, so that's half our age, baby. So maybe it's worth it. I don't know, but I don't have, yeah. To spend $1,500 on a bottle means I could wipe my ass with $1,500, and I am
Yes, that's
not.
exactly what that means.
Yeah, I have not gotten to that point in my life. I would love to. I would be I would do it in a heartbeat, but
I'm checking prices here now. We have a WhistlePig Badonkadonk 25-year-old for $1,999.
I'm actually shocked I didn't believe they were around that long, which makes me wonder. So check this out, has the distillery been around 25 or more years,
I don't know.
or is it a barrel that they brought off of somebody else? Because, like, if we went back, part of me would want to go to that whiskey thief place that we talked about where you get to pull out your own barrel. The pricing was a little obnoxious.
Yeah.
So I have to go there expecting to drop $100 on a small bottle and pay for the experience. But again, as we were told, this is where you have to be careful with some places you go that they were supposedly, and again, I'm not dissing any distillery out there because this is just what we were told from a tour guide that was in the area we were talking to, but supposedly they get their barrels from other distillers and it's not their own. The website makes it sound like they distill their own, which that's where I was a
They
little,
did not.
yeah, that's where I was a
So
little,
WhistlePig states that their Badonkadonk 25-year-old is selling for $2,000 a bottle. It says born at one of the first single malt distilleries in North America. So yeah, no, it
not
wasn't.
since theirs. Okay. So they took this on at some point and
Yes.
that they've grown it. Okay. I mean, they admit it, so that's fine. If they're willing to hold these barrels for 25 years, it's probably amazing and good for them.
Wait.
That is a hell of an investment, right? They're gonna buy it's like saying you're gonna buy SpaceX stock on the IPO and pray we've got somebody on Mars in 25 years when it's worth money because you don't know, right? I mean, hell, we're praying that Earth's still around in 25 years. You're taking very long-term chances on something like that. Just like we can go out to Kentucky with a group of buddies and buy a barrel, sign your names on it, put it out there for probably less than that or for a couple grand. And you let it age as long as you want. And I always found this to be an interesting thing. Someone was telling me about it. I'm like, well, if you want a barrel that's going to be worth your investment and really good when you open it, you're going to let it sit there for 5 to 10 years. Do you know enough people that you would go in on a barrel that would sit there and you still want to talk to these people in 10 years? When you crack the thing open, who gets to
It
sign
would
their name?
have to be it would have to be friends you've already had for like 20 years to spend
Yeah.
that kind of money on flip 'em.
Yeah. That would be, Mike, if me and you went in on something like that and
Yeah.
you brought a couple other family members or someone that you knew, we aren't going to screw you in 10 years, but
Right.
I think that would be cool as hell. We have rambled so much tonight, Mike. I'm not even sure what the overall point was for anything other than we're ending off our first season with 30 episodes, and my God, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. E.H. Taylor to end it off. Yeah, this was a tasty finish.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, it is one of my favorites, Mike. It's right at that price point where you're like, it's a little pricey. I'm not going to pop it out for a party and let people drink the shit out of it. But if you're pouring yourself a glass or two throughout the week, it's a good one to sip on that'll last you a while.
Oh yeah.
And I think it will. And I think you'll feel the same way about the Blantons when you crack that open. It's gotten popular enough to where the price point, I don't even remember. It was a little bit more there. I think it's gone up a little bit in the years. I'm trying to go 60.
Our E.H. Taylor was more expensive than the Blantons, though, wasn't it?
I don't think so. No, the Blanton was a little bit more. I mean, don't make me pull out a receipt and look it up, but,
Well, I think you're right. I think Blanton's was 80, E.H. Taylor was 70, and
and the Weller was, I
the
think, the same
antique,
price.
the antique, I think was 60. I
Ye
think
Oh,
each
was
one
it that
dropped
cheap? That was a
$10.
good okay. Well, the Taylor might have actually been the cheaper of the ones. I think the Weller was a little bit more because for the antique, it's a little harder to find. But I mean, Blanton is I see it in the wild now for about $100, which is not ridiculous. It used to be 150 easily going on, and they're still putting Blanton ranging between 75 and 130, you know. So it's
Well, if I get up early enough tomorrow morning, I can run to Tony's Wine Barrel on Home Avenue in Akron and get another bottle of Weller Antique for 60
okay.
bucks.
So they've got to go. That's not a bad deal then. Not bad at all. I did
Well, the nice thing about Ohio is they don't allow secondary markets on liquor.
so that's why the prices are so good. That's why I go to that one.
Exactly.
Well, you need to keep that guy be that guy's site so I can see, I keep an eye on stuff in case I see something I really want. Mike.
It is that it's OHLQ.com. It's like Ohio liquor. Give your mom something to do. Tell your mom, hey, mom, go get me this. Give her some scavenger hunting to do for you.
Do not tempt me. I do leave stuff at our house sometimes when I go up there. Well, Mike, anything else you want to partake in wisdom for people when it comes to your new bourbon experience, hitting up a distillery? It's a cool piece of history, even if you're not a big fan of alcohol or bourbon, it definitely was the history behind it. The stories are really cool. It was neat to see, like, Buffalo Trace is one that's right along the river, and while we were there, we saw they had a huge flood that happened over the river about a year and a half ago, and you could literally see, what was it, about 15, 20 feet high on the buildings where the river
Yeah.
crested up and just cleaned them off, and they lost millions in bourbon off of that. But you see stuff like that and you're like, wow, it's an industry that's almost come and gone. They fought through so much stuff. They made it, even hearing the stories about how they made it through Prohibition, where
That was
alcohol
cool.
became
I don't wanna send that one out, Joe, because people that wanna see the experience, I know when they were telling us that story on the tour about how they survived Prohibition, I was like, "That's pretty impressive." Because
right
you
genius.
think yeah, it's like it started, the distillery started in the 1800s, and then it's like, "Well, how did they make" and then they tell you how they made it through that period of time. Wow, that's fucking cool.
Well, yeah, but and honestly, in some of that, if you really think about it, you hear the stories, and then you see movies that are about the mobsters and prohibition, and it's like, well, wait a minute,
Mhm.
there's always a way to get around the system, and yeah, even
Oh, yeah.
the government creates its own loopholes, knowing, to a point.
The only question I wanted to ask is, do they have any kind of backlog records? Which, I didn't even think to ask it till like I was home and thinking about it. Is how much of the bourbon or stuff that they were selling there made it to Chicago or Manhattan and things like that with the big time gangsters? I'm like,
It's a good question. I never thought about that. I never really thought about asking that kind of question. Next time I go back, we're gonna add that. And I was shocked they weren't pushing it at all, and I didn't even see it for sale, but they sell something called, I think it's White Lightning or the White Dog Mash, which is
yeah, they did have it there in plenty of bottles. They have tons of them there. I just wasn't brave enough to buy.
you can buy it at most liquor stores, but it's like kind of the runoff that goes there, and it's just like this grain, almost like grain alcohol stuff. That'll fix whatever you got that's ailing you, brother. That is for
Oh
damn sure.
yeah,
All right, Michael, I know
Joe.
you're back at work this week. I'm glad to see you look wonderful. Glad everything went well for you.
Been doing good.
Start thinking of some good topics, and we'll pick this back up in, I don't know, mid to late summer. And then we'll start talking about a lot of other stuff. I'm glad we stuck on the bourbon one I'm gonna throw one out there for the future just because it was a news article that just hit so recently. But I don't know if you saw it, but did you see that Texas is now making the Bible required reading in its schools in 2030?
Oh, to be continued, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but the perfect, let's not separation of church and state 100%. That's gonna be a fun one we can talk about because you can what the F that one in a billion different ways. And that'll
Yes,
piss
sir.
people. So we'll bring that up. They made it a great way for us to kind of segue into that when we get back. We'll see in 6 weeks. It might not even be a thing anymore. It might get struck down. I don't know. Not sure how they did it, but Michael, I miss you. I love
Joe,
you. It's been great seeing you. It's always
same
great.
here, brother.
And do not melt because the heat is coming your way over the next week, too. Everybody,
It's already here.
America, 250. We've made it
Woo!
250 years. Let's hope we make another 250 and we don't fuck it all up. As long as we all keep drinking, we'll be just fine.
All right. Love everybody.
All right.
Happy
Peace
4th.
out, everybody. Happy 4th of July.